Star Wars fans rejoiced recently thanks to the rumors of Kathleen Kennedy's pending retirement. That excitement was short-lived as Kennedy came out to say that she wasn't going anywhere. She claims that she will be making movies until the day she dies. She also said that she's been working on a succession plan with Bob Iger, but there is no set date for when that will happen, and the person to replace her has not yet been announced. Kathleen is 71, so who knows how much longer she will be around. Honestly, I would imagine she would be there for as long as she's healthy and interested in the job. However, if Disney was smart, they would look to have a new head at Lucasfilm ASAP. The Star Wars brand is severely damaged, and the proof is finally out there for those that still don't believe it. Lucasfilm has experienced a massive decline in viewership with the latest projects such as The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. The interest in Star Wars is waning due to poor storytelling and the fact that we continue to have to wait for movies and other exciting projects to come to life. Star Wars will celebrate its 50th anniversary in 2027. There's going to be a massive celebration, no doubt, but will we celebrate properly? Will we be able to get a concise plan for, say, the next 5 to 10 years? Will we actually get to watch a Star Wars movie by 2027? This franchise is dying, and we all know it shouldn't. Kathleen Kennedy claims there's a plan, a sense of direction. We have yet to see that. She also likes to blame toxic fans for the negativity surrounding the franchise. Here's the truth of the matter. For things to get better on all fronts, there needs to be a change in leadership. So in today's video, I want to give my thoughts on the Kathleen Kennedy situation and explain why there needs to be a leadership change at Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy has been the president of Lucasfilm since 2012. Her tenure has been a mixed bag. Sure, we have gotten quite a bit of Star Wars content in the last 13 years, and we have seen Star Wars evolve from animated shows and the introduction of live-action shows with the launch of Disney Plus back in 2019. But Disney Star Wars has never been great, and that's because it started off on the wrong foot from the very beginning. We all know at this point how controversial the sequel trilogy was. It was appalling to see both the lack of a cohesive story and the absolute destruction of characters and canon. Most of the shows have had controversial storytelling decisions as well, which has led to even more tarnishment of the pre-established canon and lore. Originally, I was a fan of Star Wars going the television route. I thought shows would give us the opportunity to tell new and unique stories, which we did get at the beginning with The Mandalorian. I thought these shows could tell stories that would fill in the gaps between the movies and the trilogies, and this would be the perfect time to bring other stories and characters from canon and, say, the EU to life and put them in the spotlight. The shows we have received so far have been a mixed bag, but what is maybe even more frustrating is the fact that we have yet to see a Star Wars movie since 2019. I understand things are different today with movie theaters ever since the pandemic, but Star Wars should still be able to draw crowds to the movie theater. I think what bothers me most is that there is no clear vision. There's no grand plan. Kathleen claims there is, but where is it? How many more years do we have to wait? They have canceled numerous projects and have announced movies that are taking years to start making if they even get to production. I know Marvel isn't what it used to be nowadays, but Kevin Feige was cooking with Marvel Cinematic Universe with everything leading up to Endgame. It's time Lucasfilm picks a spot on the timeline and heavily focuses on that. All of these little one-and-done shows aren't building up to anything special. We have a lot of musical chairs being played amongst directors and writers. Some get hired and then get fired, some leave on their own, and sometimes you get a guy like Taika Waititi who's just hanging around waiting until he feels like writing a movie script. The lack of stability and consistency at Lucasfilm is leading to this lack of vision. You want to know something funny? I went to the Lucasfilm website to see just who's all in their management team, and I found out that there are 39 people that make up the leadership group at the company. There's a ton of different positions. There's executive vice presidents, senior vice presidents, vice presidents for other things, there's directors, assistants, and so on. But the three people that really stand out to me are, of course, Kathleen Kennedy, the president, Carrie Beck, the executive VP for live action development and production, and Dave Filoni, who's the executive vice president and chief creative officer. Now, part of me wants to say that there's too many chefs in the kitchen, but I understand that this is a large company with a ton of different things going on. I personally only care about Kennedy, Beck, and Filoni because they seem to be the major shot callers on what gets made. And as a simple fan, I really don't care about the other roles that the other 35 people have. They oversee every single branch of Lucasfilm. Okay, cool. I care more about the team of people that are deciding on what gets made and how they make it. And personally, I think we need a few more people in there that are like Filoni and Beck, maybe even Jon Favreau. I want to see more people who truly care about the brand. I want to see people that have a passion for Star Wars content and don't just look at the brand as a money-making machine. I don't exactly have a long list of candidates in mind, and let's be honest, the odds are high that Kathleen Kennedy's replacement is going to be another corporate executive. But if that person would create a group that focuses entirely on making the content and keeping track of the lore, then maybe that's a compromise. The president of Lucasfilm has to attend meetings and handle a lot of different tasks in order to run the business. So why not allow people like Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and Carrie Beck, and maybe a few others to run a content creation team? They don't have to look far for advice either. I know Marvel isn't what it once was, but it had such a dominant run for about 10 years as we got all those movies and stories that led up to Endgame back in 2019. Kevin Feige oversaw all that stuff. I'd love to see Kevin get involved with Star Wars. I think it would be great if he was at least an advisor. I'd love to see him assist in creating a legitimate roadmap for, say, the next 5 to 10 years of Star Wars content. And like I said earlier, the next president of Lucasfilm is probably going to be some corporate suit and tie kind of person, but I truly hope they love Star Wars. I hope they're a fan, and I hope they have a good track record. I'd love to see Disney hire somebody from outside the company, allow a new train of thought to exist in Lucasfilm. I'd love to see somebody from, say, a company like HBO. They have a ton of great shows on that platform. And I know things haven't been perfect with Dave and John either, but I would love to see there be a team created that solely focuses on the Star Wars projects. And I'm talking about everything: movies, shows, video games, comics, books, amusement park attractions, and so on. The first couple of people I want to see at this table are Dave, John, Carrie, and Kevin. I want to see nerds. I want to see people that have legitimate knowledge of Star Wars. I want to see people that give a damn about the IP. The people that sit at the table need to hold Star Wars to the highest regard and respect everything created even before the reign of Disney. Whether that be George Lucas, Timothy Zahn, and everyone who has helped create canon and EU throughout multiple platforms. In order to get Star Wars back on track, there needs to be a clear vision, strong leadership, and a balance between respecting legacy fans while introducing new stories and ideas. Lucasfilm should consider creating a roadmap similar to what Marvel has done over the years. There needs to be a strong creative lead that oversees that stuff, and there's so many ideas out there for movies and shows in both the live-action format and even in animation. Let's get back to what makes Star Wars unique. How about zeroing in on the Old Republic? They could create a Knights of the Old Republic style setting that takes place thousands of years before the Skywalker saga to make those that are tired of the Skywalkers happy. But still, let's focus on the Jedi and Sith, more lightsabers, more Force. If you want to make a new trilogy of movies, then you could look at Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire trilogy. That could get you 3 new movies and allow you to tell a story in a span of 5 years. I'd love to see a Game of Thrones style Star Wars project. I think it would be awesome to have a serious political drama show that revolves around the Jedi Council, say during the height of their power. Lightsaber fighting and space dogfighting are cool, but let's get political. Let's have mature storytelling. Let's elevate Star Wars writing and create a movie or a show that allows us to get immersed even in scenes that just feature characters arguing or drawing up war plans. I don't want them to shy away from future TV shows either. There's a ton of potential there too. They could make multi-season series set in the Old Republic era, something in Clone Wars maybe, or even say the criminal underworld. I know George Lucas was trying to make a show based on that stuff years ago. You can do so much with bounty hunters, the Hutt Cartel, the Pike Syndicate, just to name a few examples, and really what I want to see is them to make content on the bad guys. How about a legitimate show that covers the Sith and the dark side? None of that acolyte crap. Give us something that covers the rule of 2. Darth Bane, Darth Revan, Darth Nihilus. Going back to the good guys for a second too, you could even create a Jedi noir show. It could be a detective style show that focuses on a few Jedi that go around the galaxy fighting crime and investigating murders, kidnappings, and other issues. There's a lot of great ideas out there, but Lucasfilm also needs to give the writers and directors more time. What I mean by this is allowing shows to breathe. Give them more than one season. Let's make some shows run for 4 or 5 years. Let's actually build up a story and an emotional attachment between characters and the audience. I want shows to have more than one season, and I also want them to have seasons that are maybe 10 to 12 episodes long. Oh, and by the way, it's time for Star Wars to make a legit return to video games too. EA's exclusivity deal is done, so start finding developers that want to make a variety of games. Bring that Bounty Hunter Mandalorian game back to life. Make an open world game that allows you to choose your own path. Become a Jedi, a Sith, a bounty hunter, join a rebellion as a mercenary or something, and make multiplayer games as well. They can make new games that are similar to Knights of the Old Republic. I'd love to see a legit Battlefront 3 that gives you everything in the Star Wars universe and leave that live service and loot box bullshit behind. Hell, they can even make a new FPS game. Like, how about something that's like a tactical shooter with Halo-like mechanics? Do something new. It's now or never for Star Wars. Things are bad, and if you don't believe it, then go look up the viewership numbers for The Acolyte and Skeleton Crew. Both of those shows experienced a notable decline in viewership. The first 2 episodes of The Acolyte garnered 488 million minutes watched, which made it the lowest debut for a Star Wars series on Disney+. Then the 3rd episode comes out, and those minutes drop to 370 million. In the following weeks, the series failed to appear in Nielsen's top 10 streaming charts. This indicates a continual decline. Things got even worse for the Skeleton Crew. The first 2 episodes accumulated less than 382 million minutes viewed. The show failed to secure a spot on Nielsen's top 10 for streaming originals. That was a first for a Star Wars series. The show's finale didn't even appear on major streaming charts, underscoring the show's struggle to maintain the interest of the audience throughout the series. So yeah, I think it's time for Kathleen Kennedy to go. There needs to be some sort of change. There needs to be some shuffling of management and how they do things up there. It's time for something new to happen. It's time for a new way of thinking. There's 39 people running everything at Lucasfilm, and there's only a small handful of them that truly have a clue and that give a crap about Star Wars and understand what it is and what it means to so many of us. It's time to create stories that are fun and just simply take us on sci-fi adventures in the Star Wars galaxy. I want to come home from work at night and just turn the TV on and get immersed in the show and have fun for 45 minutes. I want to go to the movie theater again. I hope one day that I could take my own family to the theater and allow them to discover the magic and love that I once had for this franchise as well. And let's get rid of the agendas and just have fun again. I don't care about your sexuality, race, gender, or politics. If you make good content that makes sense for Star Wars and is respectful to the brand, then you will be celebrated forever, and good. Star Wars can be saved, but they are running out of time. Things need to change in order to save it. That president needs to care about Star Wars and block out all this other side crap. And they need to allow qualified people to run the show when it comes to creating the content. If Star Wars is to be saved, then a restructuring of leadership needs to happen, and for that to happen, Kathleen Kennedy needs to go. Well, thanks for checking out the video. Let me know your thoughts on this situation below in the comments. What's your plan on how to save Star Wars? Shout out to all the subscribers out there, and welcome if you're new to the channel. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.